Call the meeting of the Nicollet County Commissioners to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, Commissioner Morrow was unable to attend today. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the agenda. Is there any changes to that, Mandy?
Mr. Chair, there are no changes to the agenda today.
Say it again.
There are no changes to today's agenda.
So moved. Second.
Zims and Deanne have moved, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, it carries. Approval of the consent agenda. Any items that any board member would like to pull off the consent agenda? If not, we'll accept a motion to approve.
So moved.
Dean has moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Zims, discussion. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, it carries. Public appearances. Are there any public appearances before the county board today? Seeing none, let's move along to Human Resources. Christy Larson. Good morning, Christy.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. Today I am bringing before you a resolution regarding employee recognition events. Per Minnesota statute and the Nicollet County Employee Handbook, Nicollet County has established an employee wellness and recognition program which allows the county to hold employee recognition events and, with permission of the Board of Commissioners, use county funds to help pay for such events. Events planned for this year include a picnic this summer, lunch for the winners of the Most Impactful Continuous Improvement Award, National County Government Month activities in April, retirement recognition, and employee milestone anniversary recognition. Funds we receive from the South Central Service Cooperative for employee wellness programming will cover much of the cost of these events. Today we are requesting approval to use county funds to pay for the remainder of the expenses.
Thank you, Christy. For our new members, this is an important event honoring our employees on an annual basis. And I would encourage your support to continue this as a way to build community here at Nicollet County. Chair will entertain a motion on the resolution authorizing these employee events.
Mr. Chair, I would move the resolution as presented.
Thank you. Commissioner Drantle, is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Dean, you've read the resolution. Do we need to hear it read into the record? Not necessary. All in favor of the resolution, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, it carries. Do you have anything else for us?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public services. Jackie Copit, or like we say back in Montgomery, Copy.
Can be said either way. Morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'm here today to ask for your approval to purchase a new election equipment. This is a central count election piece of equipment. It's a ballot counter and it's called a DS450. This is sold by ES&S, which is our current vendor, who we also hold our M100s that are at the precincts, and our upload software, our electionware, so it will integrate with all of our other pieces. The significance of this piece is that as we grow with absentee voting and mail ballots, we are processing more and more ballots here at the courthouse. Currently, we're using an M100 to manually feed each ballot one by one. This is a piece of equipment that will significantly reduce staff time, count those ballots much faster. We put in a stack of them and they run them through automatically, and we'll count hundreds, if not thousands of them in a matter of a short time. So like I said, this would significantly reduce the staff time in processing ballots, mail ballots and absentee. I'm proposing that the cost of this piece of equipment be paid by the American Rescue Plan funds. I can also say that I think it fits perfectly into the efforts of the American Rescue Plan Fund, because during 2020, and if we were ever to have a pandemic, that we would ever have to have any type of situation where mail ballot is prevalent, where we can't get together to vote in person, we would be equipped to handle that. In 2020, we spent several hours manually feeding these ballots through. There's better use of our time, and there's equipment out there for us to process larger amounts. So I think this falls perfectly in the American Rescue Plan Fund's realm of its spending. There's information in your packet regarding the specs of the equipment and what the equipment actually looks like, and actually a quote for ES&S. I understand that it is a significant cost to the county, but I think it's perfect timing, and that these funds would be used from the ARPA funds to increase our election process, our efficiencies in the process.
Thank you. You've heard the report. We had this information last week at the workshop and had a good discussion about it. So this expenditure of $62,790 out of the ARPA funds is something that you see as a good move for Nicollet County.
I see absentee voting and mail voting increasing, and there's more legislation to make it easier, and I think that's a wave of our future. And this piece of equipment would be put to use efficiently and would cause less stress in our office.
Right. You've heard the recommendation of our Public Service Director. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Commissioner Dean has moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Drantle. Questions, comments from board members? Hearing none, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Dean,
Yes.
Commissioner Drantle,
Yes.
Commissioner Zins,
Yes.
Commissioner Kohlars.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
When-
you all for
When
that
would you
support.
expect this to be arriving here and your training on it?
So a little foresight, I will contact ES&S. They did have some in stock that they can get out to us, but also what also goes with new equipment is we have to go through testing and public inspection of it before it can even go out. And so there are some processes. So hopefully we can get this summer and get working on it. And my goal would be up for the March election, the presidential primary. So depending on that, there's still equipment available, and we can get this summer and get it out for public display and answer any questions on it. That'd be my goal.
Maybe there'd be an opportunity if you, once you get everybody trained, to have board members come in and see it
I would
once
love
it's
to.
ready, just so we have a sense of its efficiency for you.
Absolutely.
After a board meeting or something along those lines.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Next item, administration. We have the Minnesota Opioid Settlement Participation Agreement and Resolution. Good morning, Mandy.
Good morning, Mr. Chair and members of the board. As Commissioner Kohler said, I do have a resolution and agreement for your consideration. It begins on page 16 of your packet. In 2021, the board approved the Nicollet County's participation in the Minnesota Opioid Settlement and the execution of the Minnesota Opioid State Subdivision Memorandum of Agreement. While that settlement resolved some lawsuits, litigation involving other defendants continued. A settlement is now proposed with Teva, Allergan, CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart. Nicollet County has received documents proposing that the Minnesota Opioid Settlement Memorandum of Agreement be amended to include the settlement with Teva, Allergan, CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart. If the board approves Nicollet County's participation in this settlement, the board will need to adopt the attached resolution that authorizes Nicollet County's participation in this settlement and further authorizes the execution of the amended memorandum of agreement and related documents. The board's packet includes the amended Minnesota Opioid Settlement Memorandum of Agreement, a red line copy of the amended Minnesota Opioid Settlement Memorandum of Agreement, the individual releases for each entity, and a proposed resolution. To give you some additional information about this specific agreement, Nicollet County has received the initial payment from the 5 entities, and it's in the total of $2,340.66. As in the past, in 2021, Public Health will continue to be the lead agency administering these funds. In April, Ms. Sassenberg, the Director of Health and Human Services, will be bringing forward a contract to address their plans or proposed plans, how they're going to be using those funds in relation to the school district of St. Peter and Rock Bend, specifically looking at community education, prevention, and also family home visiting. So she'll have greater detail to share at that time. Today, I do request the approval of the resolution and the amended Minnesota Opioid Settlement Participation Agreement, and to authorize the county attorney to execute the agreement.
Thank you, Mandy. You've heard the request of the administrator. Is there a motion to that effect as we discussed today?
So moved.
Commissioner Drantle has moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Dean. I had a chance to visit with Mandy ahead of the meeting, and she was plugging in some of the answers to the questions. So we're going to be netting $2,300 on this particular resolution, correct?
Correct, for this settlement. Just to give you the 2 previous settlements, they did come in lump sums. For 1 year, for the distributor payment, year 1 and 2, that was a total of $22,858.29. And then the Janssen settlement, which was consistent of 5 years, for a total of $45,146.47. Of the 3 total payments that the county has received, it's $70,345.52 to date.
Thank you for that. And to our county attorney, you've had an opportunity to have weighing in on listening to what this resolution looks like. As I take it, are you satisfied with the way it is?
I worked with Ms. Langhammer to prepare the agenda item, review the resolution, and review the documents, so yes.
Right. And as I recall, members, AMC and the Minnesota Attorney General's office were integral in putting this agreement together. And I don't know if that meant the county attorneys had any paddle in the water or not.
There's been ongoing discussion with all of the groups and coming to the resolution of the litigation itself.
Right. Any other members' comments to the resolution that we're approving today? We're all okay with it? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Drantle?
Yes.
Commissioner Dean?
Yes.
Commissioner Zins?
Yes.
Commissioner Kollars?
Yes, it carries.
Thank you.
Mandy, do you have anything else for us at this point?
No, I do not.
Thank you. County Attorney update. Michelle, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Just wanted to note for the board that on Monday there will be Stakeholders for Education Success is looking at offering a conference called Zoomer Generation Now What? Really focusing on how we move forward in providing education and dealing with the outcomes of global events in influencing that generation, and how we best provide educational services for that generation moving forward. And then also the food shelf challenge is on for who will get the Campbell's Cup, and so we're actively collecting food shelf donations through Monday, I believe it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Zins.
Not quite ready for you.
Meeting reports, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. I attended the Rural Minnesota Energy Board meeting yesterday. There wasn't really much to report there. There was a presentation by Xcel Energy there talking about a proposed new transmission line that would connect southwest Minnesota to the Becker power plant area, would be hooking up to their grid for a planned retiring of the Becker power plant in some years. They'll take the coal plant out of Becker offline, and then they'll be connecting this transmission line to southwest Minnesota, basically wind and solar generation to help replace that energy demand. I also attended the ECB meeting in Blue Earth County regarding the county radio systems as the alternate, and that's about it, other than our board workshop.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Dean?
I also attended the board workshop last week, and then I also attended the EMS Joint Powers meeting. It was the first meeting they've had physically together in some time. Prior to that, they've been doing Zoom, so it was good to meet a lot of the other county commissioners who are involved with that, from Faribault and Martin and Blue Earth, and I can't remember, LeSueur, I think, are all in there. So that was good. It was a fairly brief meeting because the chair had some other engagements, so it was, but it was a good opportunity to at least get a foot in the water.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Drantle?
Nothing at this point. Pretty quiet.
Thank you. As far as the chair's report, we had the TDS meeting, the Minnesota Valley Action Council, our board workshop. Commissioner Drantle and I have been busy with collective bargaining. I want to remind folks that we do have a joint meeting with LeSueur County this morning at 11:30. Hopefully folks can make it so we can share some ideas and different opportunities that we have with our neighbors and to get to know each other. I think there's one new commissioner from LeSueur County, and maybe Mark and Kurt, you guys have met him before, I don't know. Can't think of the name right now, but we'll get a chance to do that. So, and that would do it for the chair's report. Commissioner committee meetings coming up. I think Commissioner Zins and I are going to the leadership meeting up in Nisswa, where it's supposed to snow the next couple of days, so that'll be interesting. And are there any other items coming up? Is the District 7 meeting in April or May?
I have not received a formal date yet as of that
Right.
meeting.
That's the meeting of our 10 South Central counties that we get together in different neighboring counties, so watch for that. Chair would entertain a motion to approve per diems and expenses. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Commissioner Zins has moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Dean. Discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, it carries. We will now adjourn the Board of Commissioners meeting. Call the Drainage Authority meeting to order. Approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Drantle has moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Dean? Oh, Mr. Zins, thank you. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, carries. Approval of consent agenda, please. Motion.
So moved.
Drantle has moved.
Second.
Second from Dean. Discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, carries. Public appearances, seeing none, let's move along to Public Services, County Ditch 79. Final acceptance and levy order from Ms. Kopit. Good morning.
Good morning again. As you recall, on March 14th, 2023, there was a public hearing and a final acceptance to close out the improvement project for County Ditch 79. At that public meeting, it was approved by motion to accept the final report from ISG, the engineer, and directed our office to prepare the findings for the next Drainage Authority meeting. Attached is a set of findings for the finding in order for your consideration for approval. These reflect what was approved at that meeting. So it's a little bit of a formality to wrap this project up.
Madam Attorney, do you want to weigh in here?
No, I worked with Ms. Nicollet to prepare the findings, and so it would be entertaining a motion to approve those findings.
So your recommendation is?
To approve the findings, I'm sorry.
You've heard the recommendation. Is there a motion to that effect?
I will move to accept the findings and order the levy. Is that how we want to phrase it?
I was going to do it in two separate motions.
Okay.
But we could probably do it as one. Or
I would do it as two
I was going to have it do
Motion to
because
accept the findings.
findings first, and then we'll go to the levy.
All right, we have a motion to accept the findings on 79. Is there a second?
Second?
Second from Zins. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, it carries.
Thank you. My second set of findings in order is to approve the levy. We will bill those landowners for that improvement project for $244,293.11. And then the terms of that was the 4% interest for 5 and 10 years, depending on the amount, as the order reflects.
You see the order on the last page of our materials. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Commissioner Drantle has moved it. Is there a second?
Second?
Commissioner Zins. Discussion.
Ms. Nicollet, we're at 4%. With the changing in the prime rate, is 4% still the correct amount, or is that going to change as prime rate creeps up? Or is that just a
It
fixed
goes
rate
by the
rate?
judgment order, and to my knowledge, it's still at 4, but I do believe that that's changing to
Okay,
5.
thank you.
Any other questions, comments to the motion in front of us? Please call the roll.
Commissioner Drannell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zins?
Yes.
Commissioner Dean?
Yes.
Commissioner Kohlers?
Yes, it carries. Do you have
Thank
anything
you.
else for us?
That is all I have.
We have now adjourned the Drainage Authority meeting.